15 seconds.
Oh my God, what is Jasmine doing?
Look
Jasmine
at the smoke all around your mouth.
Jasmine goes, I helped put out a fire. I said, research. She goes, yeah, I kicked dirt on it.
10 seconds.
She goes, I helped put out the
She's
fire.
got a little firefighter badge.
It
little
hit 5.
Sticker badge.
Why is
Four.
it so late today?
3, 2, 1. Roll the open.
We are live from Seavers Downs here at the Seaver household for 2025 Kentucky Derby. Here they are right here. We're all having a good time at Seavers Downs. We're here for the 151st Kentucky Derby today. Oh, we've been looking at this for since September, and all of a sudden it's here. So we're really excited. We're going to be here for the next 30 minutes. We'll talk a little bit about the entries. I know the lighting isn't the best right here. I'm in the shade. I got a light background, but bear with it. We're just going to have some fun here, talk a little bit about the field. I'm just making sure I'm in the picture here. There, we're good. We got a field of 19 today. You can message us in the chat if you like a horse. I will try and put the link to our stream. If you want to join us, you can join us. But we have a field of 19. Let me just quickly go over the field. The 1 is Citizen Bull. This is the Bob Baffert entry. He's back. Martin Garcia will ride. The 2 is Neo Equos. Neo Equos is one of the longer shots, one that I really like. The 3 is Final Gambit. This one was kind of hoping for rain. This one's run mostly on synthetic. They said if it rained, it was going to move him up. It appears that he's going to get that wish. The 4 is Rodriguez. Rodriguez was scratched earlier this week. The 5 is American Promise. This is the D. Wayne Lucas entry. Nick Juarez is aboard for D. Wayne Lucas. The 6 is Admire Daytona. Admire Daytona, winner of the UAE Derby in a very, very close finish. He's in here. A lot of people don't know how the Japan horses are going to do, but we're going to find out. The 7 is Luxor Cafe. This is the other horse from Japan. This one was the winner of the Japan Road to the Kentucky Derby Series. A lot of people like this one. This one seems to be taking quite a bit of money. The 8 is the favorite, Journalism, the Mike McCarthy entry. Umberto Rispoli rides. I am going to be playing against Journalism, so I don't know how you feel about that, but that's the 8, Journalism. The 9 is Burnham Square. Brian Hernandez is aboard. Burnham Square. A lot of locals like this one. The 10 is a scratch. That was Grande. The 11 is Flying Mohawk. This is another one that's run mostly on synthetic at Turfway Park. That one was also hoping for rain. He got his wish. The 12 is East Avenue. East Avenue will be up front early. I don't think this one is capable of holding on to the lead and getting in the top 3, but that's just my opinion. The 13 is Publisher. I am really high on this one. You get Irad Ortiz for Steve Asmussen, and this one's going to come running late. He's going to need a little luck to get it through the traffic, but I really like Publisher at, I think, around 26-1. The 14 is another one I like. That's another Steve Asmussen entry. That's Tistastic, and Tistastic will be, I think, a little bit closer. It won't be coming from the far back, but we'll see. Let's see, and then that was the 14. The 15 is Render Judgment. I'm not giving this one much of a look, although he is taking some money, but we'll see. I'm not crazy about this one. The 16 is Cold Battle. This is a nice story. Lonnie Briley, the trainer. I'm kind of pulling this one kind of in the background, but he's going to need to be close and be able to hold him off from the front. So we'll see about that. And then there's 2 that are really interesting, and that's the 17 Sandman, who runs from the back. He's been really green in the stretch. I mentioned in one of the previews that he kind of looks like a sailor coming off of leave, drinking and wobbling all over the place. I don't think he's going to be in the top 10, to be honest with you, but we'll see about that. The 18 is Sovereignty. I do like this one. I'm not crazy about closers in the Derby, but Sovereignty is one that I think might be able to get in the top 3. So I haven't used him on top in very many of these, but I have used Sovereignty in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And that takes us to 19. A really nice story. That's Chunk of Gold. Chunk of Gold, a $2,500 purchase that it's really looked good and run underneath in a couple of races. I'm going to be using this one in my exactas, my trifectas, and my superfectas. That's Chunk of Gold with Jarrett Loveberry aboard. The 20 is Owen Almighty. Well, we know what happened here. The trainer said, no, he's not going to the Derby. And then the owner said, yes, he's going to the Derby. They went back and forth, finally decided that he'll be in the Derby. That's the 20, Owen Almighty. And then we had a late draw in Baeza, who's runner-up to journalism in the Santa Anita Derby. Looked really good. I just don't know. I think he might still be a little green. I think that race was wasn't a real good judge of how good he is. It was a small field. But we'll see. There's a lot of people that like Baeza. I think he's around 15-1. So that's the field. If you give me a minute, I'll try and put the link into the chat, and I'll try and get the video up of the track. So if you give me a few minutes, I'll do that. I'll be away for a little second, and maybe you can hear me. Yeah, it's an exciting time here at Seavers Downs. It seemed like just the other day we were doing Kentucky Derby preps in September. Not sure if we're going to have Nick, if Nick's going to join us today on the broadcast. He's hosting the party. There we go. Let me get the there we go. So the jockeys are making their way down from the official picture that I think they just took, or maybe they're headed from the picture room down to the paddock. So let me talk about a little bit of what I like, and I'm gonna pull up the comments. If you like a horse, put it into the chat, and I will try and comment about it. I'll also put the link if you'd like to join us here. I'll put the link in the chat. I'll get you in the room and you can give your opinion. You can do it from your phone, your PC, laptop. There it is. I just put that in the chat there. We're about I think we're set for a 4:02 start time, post time. So we got about 20 minutes. I'll probably mosey around the room here in a little bit and see what people's opinions are. In fact, I'll do that right now. Give me a minute while I switch cameras. Let's meet our host for today, Nick Seavers. Hi, this is Nick. How you doing, Nick? Yeah, sure. Nick, I went over the field just now. What do you think? What's your feeling?
I'm on Sufferty. I think Sufferty's going to set up. I think I'm closing late. I'm terrified that Donald Campbell's going to win. And my wife just watched 30 seconds of racing. We picked him out of nowhere. He's going to win. She watched Fox 3 to 19. Call him home.
All right. Nick Seavers has a pick. You've been pretty lucky as of late. We're going to go over and meet some more people. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hi, I'm right here.
From right here in the backyard at Seavers Downs. Are you a horse racing fan or just stay here for the party? All right. I'm not sure. I might have the camera facing the wrong way. No, I think we're good. It's just a little delayed.
Okay.
Your name? James. Hey, James. Oh, you know what? I think I am seeing what's there. Can you see yourself there? Yeah. I think you can on the bottom. Go ahead. James, what are you here for?
I'm here to casually bet a horse race.
Okay, you having fun?
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, good. What's your name?
Nick, also Nick. Not to be confused with the Rose Party.
Can you see yourself on the bottom?
Yeah, I can see. That's
Okay.
great.
Yeah, I think that's
So, Derby 151. Just gonna spit some
last year, his other half brother won the Belmont. The mother, his dam, is named Puka. She's had 3 straight Derby starters, and her father was Big Brown, who won the Derby in 2008 out of the 20 post, which is way outside, which is where Baeza will be going. So, top pick Baeza, love Final Gambit underneath, and also Sovereign.
All right, sounds like you're pretty serious about this. I'll let you get back to it. All right, what's your name, brother?
Hi, I'm Dan.
Hey, Dan. Are you just here?
Yes.
And how are you doing so far?
Well, the first one lost.
All right, well, who do you like in this race?
I'm still saying the right way.
Who do you like in the Derby race?
Haven't decided yet. Kind of listen to what you guys say, just kind of make it trifectas.
Well, good enough. You know, I've never criticized the bet. I've seen the craziest outcome happen. We're going to move on over and meet some more people here. Our receivers down.
So much talk.
Hey, Nick, I didn't realize it, but we were facing the other way. So this is the way we need to be facing. So go ahead and give me some more info here. All right. And thank you again for hosting today. All right, what's your name?
Phil.
Phil. Hi, Phil. Hi. And just here for fun, or you here to
Here for fun. I'm also a big Bob Baffert guy. So like,
Yeah, we got a couple of interesting entries on the scratch.
okay. The number one, right?
The number one is still in. It's actually going to be kind of looking the number 2.
At this point, we're kind of we're in. Like,
Like,
you have maybe so far in, or
I'm trying to
Let's go. Bring it inside.
trying to figure out. I'm thinking. So I'm alive to Final Gambit and Baeza.
I don't like that.
On a hit. And then I'm also alive to Sovereign. Not really alive to journalism. So then I bet at journalism over my top 3 choices exacta. Case they were second. Pretty good. Everything's been really good.
with everything should. Yeah. You guys need anything? Good?
Good.
All set?
Ready for the race.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's like 20 minutes.
So I'm in 2 lessons. What's the third one?
That one that's saying that is actually the best.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's like, focus is, laser focus is like, for a little while. So the way that you're supposed to play horses is, like, playing golf.
You want to have some action.
One we're here, the ground on the green we're here, and like we're gonna be kind of in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So we got our coverage, what we need.
First, you're like,
It's all we can ask. Right now,
That makes sense. I can appreciate that because I know that, like, again, you want to talk about playing football, I can talk to you about that shit today. So I can understand the betting strategies.
yeah, definitely not.
It's a little different because I'm so used to just like, but it's different. That's where I'm.
And what this is that you get no spread, you get more options, right? So instead of being this versus me, you get 20 options.
Yeah.
And so nobody's gonna be minus 1. The worst case is you get plus 350. So, which makes it better, but also there's good, there's bad.
I mean, you have more potentiality for higher, like the higher upsides. Your swings are much bigger, as opposed to in football, they're much more like, hey, you know exactly what you're going for. Because like in football, basically, I mean, most of your spreads are you're never gonna turn $100 into $1,000
without betting four.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to get those extended odds in football. You have to bet like parlays. You have to accomplish that.
And here you can bet my horse is 9 to 1.
Yeah.
No idea.
My favorite bet in football is like give me like 3 parlays, 3 like betting the spreads in the games, and like I don't hit on those, but like, the ones I choose to bet on, I don't hit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of it's good and it's bad in the difference, right? So like we keep playing Big Five, we're trying to hit 5 races, and the Big Five here is a rating and been so you do 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, and now you're gonna pay out to 6K, $4,700.
How's your Big 5 going?
Okay. Is that last fucking race?
I mean, I was wondering, is it worth
At 9.
Is it worth the stone like a minimum bet at the favorites for each 5?
Today, yes. On day to day, not. But like if you go to like CBD or Canelo, and you hit that those 5 that hit, it pays $80. So if that's what you're playing, you're playing 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. But if you add a horse, it adds times 2. So then if you have 2 by 1 by 1 by 1 by 1, it's $1. And you got another one, now it's $4. And you got another one, now it's $8. And you got another one, now it's $16. And now it's $80. 16 and 80. It's bet like win.
Which is now our $5 bet.
Henry, please give Peter his shoes. Henry, please give Peter his
50
shoes.
cent pick 5
I
to
understand
journalism.
the
50 is 75, $750.
If I bet 5, I promise. What is the odds?
55, $60.
Okay, well
What?
You take that?
the trumpeter is about to play.
Get out and get them.
All the riders to the track. It's an exciting time for Nick and I. It goes all the way back to last September when we started watching the first Derby preps. It's hard to believe that now in less than 15 minutes we'll know the winner of Derby 151. So looks like they're about to get out to the track. They're going to sing the traditional song here.
The favorite. I mean, I guess I gotta take.
And actually, I'll put the audio up on that so you can hear it.
Favorites in a row.
Yeah.
But I guess you can make a decision if you're.
Hopefully you can hear them.
We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home, for my old Kentucky home, far
No more than because I went to college in Kentucky. It's like their thing.
Sorry, I was supposed to say NCAA Football Hall of Fame.
All right. Well, I'm back. Hopefully you can see me here. It's a little different setup than we normally do from our offices, but we actually weren't sure if we were going to do a show here today
Number 1 is
because of the party.
Citizen Bowl.
owned by SF Racing, Starlight Racing, and Madaket Stables, trained by Bob Baffert,
I'll let you
Martin
let the
Garcia, the
post-parade
rider.
continue.
Number 2 is Neo Equos, owned by C2 Racing, trained by Safi Joseph Jr., with rider Luis Saez. Number 3 is Final Gambit, owned by Judmont, trained by Brad Cox, Luan Machado. Number 5 is American Promise, owned by BC Stables, trained by D. Wayne Lucas, Nick Juarez, the rider. Number 6 is Admire Daytona, owned by Jungle Kondo, trained by Yukihiro Kato, with Christophe Lemaire. Number 7 is Luxor Cafe, owned by Koichi Nishikawa, trained by Noriyoko Hori, with Jao Moreira. Number 8 is Journalism, owned by Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners, trained by Michael McCarthy, with Umberto Rispoli. Number 9 is Burnham Square, owned by Whittam Thoroughbreds, trained by Ian Wilkes, Brian Des Jr. Number 11 is Flying Mohawk, owned by 2-8 Racing, trained by Whit Beckman, with JD Ramos. Number 12 is East Avenue, owned by Godolphin, trained by Brendan Walsh, with Manny Franco. Number 13 is Publisher, owned by Gus King and the estate of Brereton Jones, trained by Steve Asmussen, with Arad Ortiz Jr. Number 14 is Tiztastic, owned by Winchell Thoroughbreds, trained by Steve Asmussen, with Joel Rosario. Number 15 is Render Judgment, owned by Bakari Racing Stable and Dream Walk-In Farms, trained by Kenny McPeak, Julien Leperoux, the rider. Number 16 is Coal Battle, owned by Norman Stables, trained by Lonnie Briley, Juan Vargas, the jockey. Number 17 is Sandman, owned by DJ Stable, St. Elias Stable, and West Point Thoroughbreds, trained by Mark Cassie, Jose Ortiz, the jockey. Number 18 is Sovereignty, owned by Godolphin, trained by Bill Mott, Jr. Alvarado. Number 19 is Chunk of Gold, owned by Terry Stevens, trained by Ethan West, Jareth Loveberry. Number 20 is Owen Almighty, owned by Flying Dutchman, trained by Brian Lynch, Javier Castellano. Number 21 is Baeza, owned by CRK Stable and Grandview Equine, trained by John Sheriffs, Flavian Pratt, the jockey.
Okay, that's the field of 19. I'm going to give you my thoughts here, and I'll scroll through the chat to see what you think. I know a lot of people like Sovereignty with Junior Alvarado.
Kentucky Derby.
I could agree with you in a race other than the Derby. I just think it's going to take.
Seems to need.
He's not going to have enough time to get there all the way from the back. Maybe he'll be a little bit closer today.
He's the great story of the Kentucky Derby competitors this year for Lonnie Briley, 72-year-old trainer, won his first great stakes race.
Yes, I like Sovereignty. I just think it's going to be asking too much to come all the way from the back. It is a long stretch there at Churchill Downs, but I think, you know, he's realistically more like a third or fourth. He will be covering a lot of ground there at the end. There is one that I think is going to be closer, and I think he's going to run a little bit a race like Mystic Dan did yesterday, and that's Chunk of Gold. He's, other than being outside and wide, he's going to move against the rail. He's going to be near the back. I think we're going to see him move up a little bit closer to the pace in the backstretch. And if he's mid-pack and has the rail shot, I think he's got a real shot to get in the money. The other one I really like at long odds is Neo Equos. This one has shown some really good speed. He's coming from the 2-hole. It's going to be interesting to see Neo Equos and Citizen Bull because they're both going to go. I think they're going to be side by side. I think Citizen Bull is going to get the best of them, but expect Neo Equos to be within the top 5 going into the first turn, and he's got tremendous staying power for a front runner. I like Neo Equos in the Superfecta, and you're going to get really good odds on him. The other one I really like at long odds is Publisher. He's going to be running late, and I'm not crazy about closers, but I think Irad's going to keep him much closer in this race. Man, big races, Irad Ortiz is the man, and I think you're getting around 26 to 1 on Publisher, so that's one that I like. Of the favorites that I like, I think this might be the year that Luxor Cafe and a horse from Japan wins this Derby. I don't know what the competition that he ran against in the Japan Road to the Kentucky Derby series, but he just looks so good. He's by American Barrel. I think this could be the year. I haven't singled him on top, but I have put him on a couple of my exactas, trifectas, and superfectas on top. Another one of the favorites that I like is clearly Journalism. He's really good. I think if I had to pick a negative about Journalism, it would be that I think he's going to get sandwiched and kind of blocked in early, and I don't know if he wants that. He normally likes to be fourth or fifth, a little bit wide. I think he's going to be kind of held captive. You'll say he'll have 2 or 3 horses on each side of him, 2 or 3 behind him, and he's going to be kind of prisoner to a pace that maybe isn't to his liking. And so for that reason, he could be farther back early than I expect. And if he's more than halfway back, I don't see him winning. Another one that the locals like there in Kentucky is Burn Up Square. I'm not crazy about this one. I think he could get in the superfecta, but I don't think he's any higher than third. I'm trying to think of some others here that I think I mentioned Citizen Bull. I have not given up on Citizen Bull. We've seen him work out lately. He's look like he's ready to go. It's all about the break. I see Martin Garcia getting him out, get him in a good spot. I don't see him going to the lead. I think East Avenue is going to go to the lead, along with Owen Almighty. And I think Citizen Bull, if he's smart, will sit 2 or 3 back along the rail. Wait for an opening. Just don't let anybody back up into you. And I think he's going to have a shot. We might see the old bull here. Nick's back. Nick, do you want to add a couple of thoughts here?
By Ethan West, 27 to 1. Work him into your wagers. Verticals. It's time to write those tickets for Kentucky Derby 151.
And now I'm terrified that Citizen Bull is going to get to the front and just keep running. So I'm gonna throw in a bet that covers Citizen Bull at 13 to 1. That's way too high.
Citizen Bull as well, and we'll see if we can bring Caitlin Free back.
I guess since we're getting close, I'm going to talk about a couple of kind of hunch plays I like. One is the Journalism Publisher angle. I'm one of the guys that have newspaper blood in me, and so I thought that was a good match. Plus, I like it because one is a favorite and one is a longer shot. So I'm playing that angle, the Journalism Publisher exacta box. Another angle I like is I like the 2 Asmussen entries, Tistastic and Publisher. You're getting good prices on both of those. Let's see what I did like the Tappan East Avenue. I like that intersection, but Tappan Street scratched out, so we don't have that option now. And then you know what I almost played but I didn't play? I was going to play the Chunk of Gold and Neo Equo, the one from the back long shot and the one from the front long shot, but I didn't do it. I only put in so many bets. I know I'm pretty spread out here, but I'm hoping for some kind of a big exacta. Nick and I play a lot of the future pools. We played future pools 1 through 6. It's a great way to get coverage for Derby Day. Most of my money is through Derby pools, so that on days like today I can kind of relax and maybe fill a couple of gaps that I have in my betting. But we're about 2 minutes away. When we get close to a minute, I'll stop talking. I know I'm doing a lot of talking, but let me go. I know I said I was going to go in the chat. Let me go into the chat and see. It looks like some people like Luxor Cafe, Baeza. The chat's moving pretty fast. Thank you for watching. We got over 5,000 people, almost 5,000 people in the room. So thanks again. Weekend Double, we do Derby preps and large races on a regular basis. We're not experts, you know, we're amateurs, but we do. I will say this: we pick winners just as much as any of the experts on TV. And I've always told people this sport of wagering on horse racing is like it's about 40% skill and 60% luck. So, and I've never criticized the bet. You know, if you like the pink shirt or the gray horse, I've never criticized the bet because I've seen the craziest outcomes happen. Looks like we're about a minute out. Again, thank you for joining us here. Just so you know, if you're betting, this feed that I'm showing is ahead of the network feed. We're probably 10 to 15 seconds ahead of the feed. I think this is about a 2-second delay from the actual track. So this is a great way to put in wagers at the last minute without being shut out. I know some of you watch on TV and you think you have time, and the next thing you know, you're shut out. So we use the track audio feed, audio and video feed. And it's been a nice journey here. It's been an interesting year. We didn't have a lot of preps that had mud, not a lot of off tracks. And then what do we get on Derby Day? An off track. That's just the way horse racing goes sometimes. Let me see if you could put some picks in the chat. I'll read them off.
He has very good breeding for an off racetrack, but there are some concerns about maybe the kickback, the mud.
Rhea likes Flying Mohawk, and I didn't see who the other one was.
From others,
the 20 and the 2, the 20 Owen Almighty and Neo Equus. I like Neo Equus I think Neo Equus is going to be in the lead coming out of the first turn. I could be wrong, but my problem is I think he's going to fade a little bit, but hopefully not past fourth. Sandman, you know, I'm curious to see if Sandman behaves. He's been a little crazy in the stretch, and that's kind of what I'm expecting today. I'm afraid of Sovereignty. Sovereignty is going to ruin a lot of my tickets.
Brian Hernandez won this race last year. How will this unfold in Kentucky Derby?
We got some.
We're going to start the loading process momentarily.
They're moving towards the gate now.
In sports, everybody.
American Promise. Javier likes American Promise. Final Gambit by Samuel. Final Gambit. They're moving into the gate now. So good luck if you're betting. And again, thank you for joining.
And the horses have reached the starting gate. It's post time.
Come on, one time. We've been cold all day.
Like they barely got the last horse in the stall.
And then with the Derby, they're double loading the gate, so it's 110, 211. They're loading like that. Otherwise, 1 and 10, 2 and 11, 3 and 13, like all the way.
Bob Baffert is back.
Well, there's 20 gates, but at the time, the other 2 at a time here, then it's a horrible example. We got Travis Stone.
Journalism has gone into line, waiting on Burnham Square. Flying Mohawk, Owen Almighty, and Baeza. And the last one to load, Baeza. They're in the gates. And they're off in the Kentucky Derby, and some crowding down toward the inside. Journalism has a smooth start, but he was shuffled back soon thereafter. Citizen Bull racing right to the lead, and he comes well off the rail. Citizen Bull 5 wide bias the first time. Neo Equus right there in between, racing in second. Owen Almighty on the far outside is third. An American Promise gets a coveted spot, saving ground on inside fourth. Admire Daytona is out of there running in fifth. East Avenue from off the pace in sixth. Burnham Squares tethered to the rail with Brian Hernandez. They're running in seventh. Chunk of Gold is eighth. Cole Battle racing mid-pack ninth. Journalism, Umberto Rispoli has him down inside 10th. They're about 10 lengths off the lead as they head to the backstretch run. Flying Mohawk is racing in 11th. Render Judgment on the far outside is 12th. Luxor Cafe is 13th. Publisher is 14th. Baeza 15th. Sovereignty 16th. Tistastic 17th. Sandman is last of the 19 through a strong Opening half in 46 and 1/5 seconds. Down the backstretch they go here at Churchill Downs. Citizen Bowl leads the way to the far turn. Neo Equos trying to keep pace. American Promise tried to split those two. Is coming under a ride. Owen Almighty advances up, grabs third. Owen Almighty's now third round the far turn. Umberto says go with Journalism. Journalism rocketing past horses. He's up to fourth on the outside, and Sovereignty's following him. Don't forget Sandman. Final Gambit goes to the far outside too. They're off the turn. Here comes Journalism. Here comes Sovereignty, and they square off, heading to the final furlong of the Kentucky Derby. Final Gambit and Baeza trying to close in late. Sovereignty has taken the lead. Journalism has to fight back. Journalism has lost the lead to Sovereignty. It's time for the Royal Blue to don some red. Sovereignty wins the Derby.
Neo Equus might have caught.
Oh.
It was fucking Baeza. It was Baeza. He wears the white.
What a tremendous stretch run in the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby. Sovereignty and Journalism. You could see they were both moving. Journalism had a lot of trouble into the first turn. Umberto Rispoli ended up guiding him to the extreme outside. He made that big circling move. You could see that Sovereignty was following in his path through the turn. They hook up past the 8th pole. Sovereignty, who already had won over the Churchill Downs racetrack as a 2-year-old in the street sense. Here's Sovereignty, Junior Alvarado, Bill Mott, Godolphin. They win the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby.
I think you got your energy back for that.
Okay, you have it. Sovereignty over Journalism. All right, Nick's going over some bets right now. Nick, hey Nick, Baeza was third, and who was fourth?
Don't know fourth. Oh, I don't know who was fourth. But all I know is I hit it for $100 on the win side. Who was fourth? Here, I don't have a super. Is that Neo?
And we're watching the replay here. Sovereignty over Journalism. Let's see if they hold the picture long enough, or
On this one, they won't. Baeza was fucking flying.
looks like Baeza third. I couldn't see who was fourth.
Who took fourth? We need to know. That's Gambit. Oh my God, I hit the super.
And Gambit may have been fourth. I think it was Baeza second and not Neo Equos. Someone was saying it's 18-2.
I think it's 18-8, 21-3 is what we think. 18-8, 21-3.
We're all kind of nervously waiting. I couldn't quite see if that was a 2 or 21. The crowd here seems to think it was 21 Baeza, and then we're hearing maybe it was Final Gambit in fourth. We're not quite sure here. So it's a little chalky. But Baeza went off at what, 14-1 or so? 13-1.
Ahmed, there was a very sweet moment after the race when Junior, all of the jockeys, maybe not all of them, but at least 10 of them came by to congratulate you. You are one of theirs, and now you finally get your first Kentucky Derby win. What's this mean?
You know, first of all, thank you. I gotta thank my Lord Jesus for giving me this Kentucky Derby win. With him and Sovereignty, who got me all the way to the wire. And, you know, it meant the world to me. My family's here. I thought I had a great chance. Mr. Mott, I mean, I was so confident the whole week. I knew Mr. Mott could have done. Yeah, if I had to pick someone, it was Mr. Mott. And, you know, like, we've been a team for a while. It's just like, it's more than even a dream come true just to have it.
Baeza, Gambit, Owen Almighty.
The Godolphin people who have been very helpful throughout my career too.
Junior, you've overcome many injuries along the way, including an injury 5 weeks
that's
ago
about
that
a-
set you back for 3 weeks, and
That's
he
a couple-
stuck by
couple
you.
grand.
Did you expect that sort of loyalty?
Couple thousand.
You know,
I bet.
you never
But
know
five-
sometimes in the business, but you know, he called me right the day I got out of the hospital. He said to me, you know, do what you need to do. If the horse wins, or finish second or third, you'll ride him back, and you ride all the horses you've been riding, you'll get back on it.
Okay, quickly, you're from Venezuela. Your father, Rafael, was a jockey. What's this mean for the family?
I can't even describe it. I'm pretty sure they're way over the moon right now. Thank you. Gracias. Papá, mamá, los quiero. Kelly, Adrián, Adalyn, Naxo, y Venezuela, para ti, Venezuela. Thank you.
I think that means he's happy. Let's go to Kenny Rice. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you, Donna. I'm with the winning trainer, Bill.
Yeah. 21. So we got for 50 cents and $5. Oh, fuck. We got it 11 times. Woo!
I have my $100 exacta.
Fuck yeah, you did. The one that you hated?
The one I wanted, the $100. All right. Well, we're kind of celebrating here. I should be more excited, but I was looking for bigger payouts, but I did hit my $100 exacta box. I had journalism, sovereignty, and Sandman. So I'm happy about that. It should be a couple $1,000. This is the third year in a row I've had a 4-digit payout. I was hoping for the 5-digit payout, but I'll take it. It's a good day. Sovereignty proved me wrong. I didn't think he could get there. I knew he'd make a run. I just didn't think he'd have time enough. And Nick's going crazy over here. I know one of the guests here hit the Superfecta, and we'll talk to him in a minute. Nick, was it you that hit the Superfecta? So I'm happy for Junior Alvarado. Seems like a really good guy, and I know the Latin American people that are in the chat were rooting for him. I kind of was too. He's a good guy. I like him. Just betting wise, I was hoping he hadn't won, but it came down to the kind of the two horses that people like the most, which is a little unfortunate if you're a betting guy like I am. But wow, it ended up being a pretty good race actually. Neo Equos was kind of where I thought he would be at the lead at the top of the stretch. Faded badly. I thought he'd hold on a little bit more. I'm curious to go back and watch this to see how much ground Owen Almighty closed at the end. Let's see. I don't think Sandman was ever in it. I know he was dead last. That's where I thought he would be. He probably was lucky to finish mid-pack at the end, but a good race, a good year, the 151st Kentucky Derby. Again, this is part of the weekend double show. We will be online for just about every big race, not every weekend if we have things going on, but we'd love for you to join us. Actually, Caesar's, let me get Caesar in here. Caesar, you still there? Caesar, you there? Caesar wanted to talk a little bit about, so I'll leave him in there in case, Caesar, if you're there, come in and I'm not sure if you're there though, but anyway, yeah, a good Derby. I'm a little disappointed, but I gotta remember, I gotta be happy with $100. I think best case scenario of the 6 bets that I made in that box, it probably paid the best because I think Sovereignty was longer odds than Sandman. And he won on top, so I think it might be a $5,000 payout. I think it was $57 for $1 exacta the last time I checked. So I gotta be happy with that. Sounds like Caesar is celebrating. Caesar, if you're there. Caesar, you there? Okay, well, Caesar sounds like he's pretty excited here. Again, thanks for watching. We had a nice crowd today, almost 10,000 people in the chat or in the viewing. I appreciate that. I think we're going to wrap it up now here so we can do a little celebrating. Again, Sovereignty wins the 151st Kentucky Derby over Journalism. over Baez, over Final Gambit, and I believe 5th place was Owen Almighty. So that's it from here for Weekend Double. For Nick Sievers, I'm Gerald Contreras. Thank you and good night.